please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. When our new videos go drop, I'm not really sure, because there is nothing going on in the world of Doctor Who right now. There is literally nothing beyond nothing. I guess Doomsday was supposed to be the big thing that took up June and July or whatever. And there is nothing. I mean, just so zero nothing. I mean, although is something going on, and then it's just there's little interest. Because, look, for me personally, my interest in the new era has nosedived, right? Absolutely tanked. I did a bunch of, went over a bunch of location filming things, which, yeah, okay, looks fun, looks interesting, but no, does look funny? Not really. It looks expensive, right? It looks expensive. I'm just not engaged, right? I am not engaged with the new era, and I really was. That's a lot of goodwill they pissed away, right? But I'm wondering, I don't think it's just me, right? I think there is a cultural... Look, okay, the way I look at the world is a bit weird, which, I admit, I'm a weird guy. Firstly, I'm a Bible-thumping weirdo. Fine, let me turn the AC on. Let's see if it's going to be too cold. Right, so anyway, there's so little going on. I can contemplate not putting out any fresh content today, right? I was like, I got a few things we can go over and take the piss about it, but maybe not tomorrow, certainly not Saturday, right? Unless something happens, right? But anyway, so I was covering the location filming. It's fun to see Bonnie Langford, but really, I'm not interested, right? It's interesting. I think The Flash may be a significant trend. Now, why did The Flash fail so terribly? I mean, there's a lot of reasons. I haven't seen it. I'm going to see it when it comes on streaming, which is a week, 2 weeks. So it's like nothing, right? I'm vaguely interested. I want to see the cameos. I like the Snyderverse, right? I don't know. Oh boy, that makes people like. I like the Snyderverse a lot. I think that casting. Other than whatever his name is, Captain Pervert. What's the guy's name? Ezra Miller? Whatever his name is, right? Captain Weirdo Pervert, right? I like the casting of everything. I like the reimagining of Aquaman. Listen, I was never that into Aquaman. Listen, the best Aquaman I ever seen on TV was the Family Guy once, where this guy's beating up a woman on the beach, like, and Aquaman standing in the sea said, "Oh, you come and get me here, come here, I'll come and get you, oh yeah," like, pointing out how useless. But I liked it. I liked the reimagining of Aquaman, Jason Momoa. I liked everything. Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, Ben Affleck, Batman, most cinematically accurate Batman. So I like it all, right? I like the Snyderverse. Generally speaking, I thought it was a success, right? A cinematic success, even though it didn't really work, right? I mean, my favorite, I think the greatest superhero movie ever made, probably Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League. I thought that was... epic. I really did. I thought it genuinely epic. I thought it was fantastic. So I want to see The Flash, right? But firstly, there wasn't any negative press going on about it that much, right? It was like the normal superhero movie hype. Nobody went to see it. Nobody went to see it. I think the same thing's going to happen with Indiana Jones this weekend, right? I think I just saw, was it Critical Drinker? Maybe a YouTube channel, Critical Drinker, just came out seeing a preview in a deserted cinema. I was going to see it next week. I just looked up. Probably not, right? Probably not. And I looked up buy tickets. It's deserted, right? It is like there's no ticket selling. So I think there's a massive disinterest in media, right? Because people just know it's shit. Basically, people just forget it. Yeah, you got to really put out and excite an audience to get them to theaters. I think probably Mission Impossible will do gangbusters, right? I think that will be absolutely huge. But I think Doctor Who, on the strength of what I've seen in this year, which has been very weak, right? This year, I'll say, I was giving them a pass from Doom, right? That was like March, but like January, February. I think what I've seen this year has been very disappointing, very, very unimpressive. Last year, super excited, David Tennant running around, beep the meat, right? Everything's super exciting. But I'm paying close attention, right? I'm paying close attention, so I think the Jinx Monsoon announcement, which they thought would be the greatest ever. I think that killed interest, right? Weirdly, and I don't know how, but I think there's really little interest about it, which is why there's not much chatter about Doctor Who right now, because nobody's interested. The Barbie movie, like everything is tanking. Everything is really genuinely falling apart. Listen, what's going to be the state of Disney Plus? Forget November. What's going to be the state of Disney Plus come next year, right? Is it still going to be owned by Disney? Is Disney going to be one corporation? Maybe not. Right? Really, genuinely, maybe not. They're in a lot of trouble. Warner Brothers are in a lot of trouble. They're apparently selling off all their IP. It's so the writers' strike. I bet like Jimmy Kimmel and Colbert and all the late night comedians have been off the air for like a month or two. No one's noticed. Right? No one has noticed. It is the craziest thing. And if you pay attention to politics, right? Robert Kennedy is doing very well, right? He's a Democratic candidate, anti-establishment Democratic candidate. I like him a lot, right? Honestly, if it's between Trump and RFK, I'm confused, because I like RFK a lot, and he seems a lot more presidential. If you're not new to my channel, you know I'll always love Trump, right? I've been a big Trump all from the beginning. I don't know. Between the two of them, I really don't know, right? But here's the thing. This guy has been, RFK has been slammed and destroyed in the media like more than Trump, weirdly, right? But they're so mad at him, calling him, everything under the sun. Hasn't had a dent. He's in double digits, right? It hasn't made a dent, which I just think it's indicative of why there's no Doctor Who news, right? Because the normal channels to get news and data and information, they're dead. They are dead beyond dead. Nobody cares. Nobody cares whatsoever. So that's why I think there's no Doctor Who news. Why is there no Doctor Who news? Because I don't think there's any interest. Why is there no interest? Because the media hype machine is dead, right? If it's inauthentic, it's inauthentic. And I get it. Russell T Davis thinks Jinx Monsoon and Yasmin Finney are the greatest things ever, and go, yay! They're part of a shrinking 3%. Because I think a lot of gay people are looking at this at all the weirdness we've seen in June. And there's a lot of weirdness we've seen in June, like just really disgustingly weird things in the name of pride. And people are just, no, we are done. We are absolutely done. So, I just think hitching your wagons up to that I think we might have hit a cultural tipping point. And that's why there's no Doctor Who news, right? Because there's no interest, because they've decided to really go down the trans representation route, which is the most important thing to them, and people aren't interested. Bottom line, people are not interested. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment. I mean, it's good news for me. I mean, the more bollocks they say, it's the more I can take the piss out of. I still got, right? I mean, do you want to know the lack of interest there is? I've still got an article in Doctor Who magazine going over all the Doomsday stuff to take the piss out of. I haven't had a chance to, because no one's interested, right? There is little. I mean, I'll get to it eventually. I was trying to get to Star Trek review all this week, and I couldn't. Oh God, there's a new episode out today. And it's got the Star Trek Strange New Worlds Kirk, who looks like Jim Carrey playing. Why they cast this guy? Man, talk about killing all your goodwill. I used to love Strange New Worlds last year. This year, forget it, right? Forget it. I don't know. I think we'll probably enjoy the 6th anniversary thing. I mean, although, I think Yasmin Finn is going to really be a big blot on the 6th anniversary, right? We're going to look back at it. I mean, imagine looking back at the Three Doctors, and there's a national. Let's say the National Front were really culturally really popular. National Front is like the British Fascist Party. Let's say they were really popular in the 70s, which they were, but genuinely popular. They were cool, right? They're just in the same way being trans is cool. Imagine having a National Front guy, a skinhead with a swastika tattooed on his forehead as just one of the characters. Oh, hi, this is Sergeant Racist, right? Imagine looking back at the Three Doctors, or imagine if Patrick Troughton played the second Doctor in blackface, which was an option. crazily enough, right? I mean, that was an option. He could contemplated playing in blackface. Could you imagine, right? Would that have been the first black Doctor? I mean, I don't know. If Yasmin Finney is a girl, Patrick Troughton in blackface should be a black person. No? And I'm not taking the piss. I don't know the rules. I know that because there are rules. It's all whatever you want at the bloody time, right? So there's not much interest, right? There's more interest in me talking about. There's not much interest in me actually talking about Doctor Who. So there we go. Fine. Before we get into these articles, like, share, subscribe, and comment. All those things would be fantastic. I have a whole bunch of comments I'm going to try and catch up on today. I am feeling so much better. I've lost 20. About 20 pounds. I'm probably more than that right now. I've lost 20 pounds in 3 weeks, and it's still going. Okay, the roughest part is on the phase 2. After the first 2 weeks, you just eat potatoes and water, right? Reboot your system. It sounds awful, but it really actually isn't, right? It really genuinely isn't that bad. Third day is rough because you have no energy because your body's kind of like doing some chemical thing where it switches over. It's like your liver has to produce something and it takes it from glucose and it was taken from glucose that you just consumed and it switches over to taking from glucose from your body, right? The Ray Cronus, right? So day 3 you have no energy. 3 and 4 is often no energy whatsoever, right? So yeah, so that was the first 2 weeks. So after that you get to eat vegetables, basically vegetables and that's about it. But yeah, it's all natural food, right? Everything is, you basically got to make everything yourself. So after the 6 hours, you've got to you basically eat within a 5-hour window, which I do from 3 to 8 is really my window. But that's rough, right? That is rough. But the weight is just melting off, right? Not unless my shoes are too big. It's weird, and I'm still like hugely fat because I probably got to lose 15 stone. I would have thought to be thin, to be normal, right? I brought 10 to 15 stone, right? That's a lot of weight. If your stone is 14 pounds, that's a lot of weight. So, but it's man, losing 20 pounds, that's, you feel a bit better. You're like, although if you're a super fat guy, right, like me, and you lose 20 pounds, people will say, oh, I lost 20 pounds, I can run, I'm like, I can blink. I can breathe in and out. Sometimes I can wipe my own arse, right? It's not that impressive. Give me another couple of months. Anyway, I don't even know how I got into that. Like, share, subscribe, comment is basically what I'm trying to say. Head over to Rumble. That'd be fantastic. Subscribe to me on Rumble. Make sure you got your bloody app working everywhere, for God's sake. If you want to be a YouTube competitor, which you are. A ton of big YouTubers have moved to Rumble as their main channel. The Quartering, right? That really blew me out. And there is a cultural shift going on there. You can also catch me on Twitter. I stream onto that. Sign up my Substack in the video notes. I think hopefully going out this weekend will be new chapters of Millennial Rights by Craig Hinton, read by an AI Colin Baker. The voice file's done, right? Each chapter's about an hour long. Takes a while to do, but so the voice file's done. But I got to I like to put a little what's it called again? Oscillator, like a little thing indicating somebody's talking, right? I think it's more visually interesting. I don't know, but that's me. I'm just very alien-retent about that stuff. So like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack, all those things are fan-freaking-tastic. Fine! Let's talk about bollocks nobody cares about. Rossi Davis revealed three Doctor Who season 14 clues. Here's what we think they mean. So often in Doctor Who magazine, when he's not talking about having random sex with a drag queen in the middle of shooting in the midst of Aliens of London or whatever it was, he gives 3. He says, there's 3 words, which are always fun because I remember this in 2005 when you heard the word, you're like, oh, exciting, right? It is. It's funny, but it is. That's when Doctor Who was exciting. Anyway, so he gave us 3 words, and Mark Donaldson. I think he's a reasonably okay person who's very much of the age, right? So he's very much, I think, drunk the Kool-Aid. I'm not sure he is now because the cultural trends shift so regularly. Like I remember, what was it, a year ago, saying how I couldn't stand Meghan Markle to my kid. They're like, oh, what? Meghan Markle? Oh, but she survived racism. I'm like, she's a hot white chick. Who was racist against Meghan Markle, right? Oh! Anyway, so now the cultural winds have changed, and they took the piss out of her and Harry on South Park. Which my kids probably didn't see, but that changed the cultural winds, right? So I'm curious next time I bring them up. They're like, oh yeah, she's the worst, right? So that's Mark Donaldson. I think he's very plugged in. So is he still on the Jodie's the best as ever? Probably. I mean, I don't know. Look, listen. I have a neighbor who votes Republican, right? Voted Trump. Votes Republican, but couldn't stand Trump. He's an old school Republican. He still reads the New York Times cover to cover, right? And I'm like, how? How do you? I mean, like at least when in the height of the Cold War, if you lived in Russia, the Russians knew Pravda was just propaganda nonsense. Like, how do you put your time into reading it? You just can't get people to climb down, right? It doesn't matter how many times they've been shown to be wrong, over and over. I mean, this week, right? This week, again, you're probably not paying attention because it's just noise. Who cares? This week, whilst there's always all these like insane things coming about Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, which we all knew about for years. The Department of Justice, and we're going to get talked to in a minute. Again, it's not that interesting. Department of Justice in America leaked this smoking gun recording of Donald Trump apparently holding classified documents, showing them around like the right. And so I listened to Tim Pool's the place I get my news from first because I like his analysis. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's a good person, right? Big recommend Tim Pool. So he said, we're not going to run with the story today. We're going to wait 3 days because something always happens. And lo and behold, right? Lo and behold, this smoking gun about these documents aren't even the things in the indictment, right? It's a hoax. It was another hoax. Apparently, General Milley had an article in Vanity Fair saying Trump wanted to invade Iran, and Trump was talking about holding up that article rather than a classified document in the smoking gun audio, which has nothing to do with the indictment. Who cares? I mean, like, who cares? Fine! Speaking of who cares, talk about Doctor Who. So we got a 3-word tease. Rossi Davis has dropped a cryptic tease about Doctor Who Season 14 finale. Oh, it's a finale. See, I just blanked it saying finale because I was bored. But what do the words Kingdom, Golden, Tigella mean for the Doctor? I actually started talking about this a bit on Twitter, and I was like, I got bored. So let's see what he has to say for himself. Rossi Davis has dropped some cryptic teasers for Doctor Who Season 14. Again, if you hadn't hitched your wagons up to the Barbie movie, which is going to crash and burn horribly as well by the looks of it. I mean, again, that movie looked like it was tracking okay, and then the stars came out and said, oh yes, it's all about gender identity. Everyone's like, bye! And it's good. Even if they didn't hear it, they're like, I'll tell you exactly what it is, right? This is the weirdest stuff, but I'll tell you exactly how this works. There's these islands where these monkeys lived on the island, right? And one monkey had the idea one day of taking his banana and going to the river and washing it off before he ate it, and it was more yummy, right? So another monkey sort of, and they went and did that too, and then another monkey, and they all started washing. So the whole tribe of monkeys, in a few days, it was like 200-300. But here's the weird thing. After a few days, it suddenly went from 200-300 to every monkey across this whole range of islands, right? Millions. They're like, it became part of the Gestalt knowledge, right? And I think that's why I'm going to happen with the Barbie movie. It's going to tank horribly because it's just going to become part of the Gestalt knowledge. Same way Flash fell. Same way it looks like that Indy's tracking abysmally. It's best become part of the same way Jinx Monsoon is just part of the Gestalt, right? Knowledge that we don't give a shit about this weird pervert, stuff you're trying to force down our throat. And what you're trying to force down our throat, you forcing yourselves down each other's throat. By it looks a bit. If what I saw on Pride was real, that's the other weird thing. Okay, the other weird thing. I did the toxic fandom this week was spurging out because Jacqueline Rayner was signed a letter supporting J.K. Rowling, right? So he thought he could, there's Mr. whatever his name, Trilby, thought he could whip up support by condemning them roundly on a large patronising post, and he got his ass handed to him over and over again because the cultural winds have completely and totally twisted. But here, when I was getting it right, I saw the ongoing thread is when people looked at images of like the weird perversion in Pride this month, right? Which apparently is normal. It's like, that's been going on for years. They all said, it's photoshopped. It's not real. Okay, whatever. Fine. Back to Doctor Who. Yeah, let's see how long it can maintain my interest for this time. Rossi Davis will take over. Shooting Cat will take over from David Tennant as a Doctor later in 2023, but filming is already on a way to end his first season in the role. It's known that Doctor Who season 14 will feature Bonnie Langford, the 1980s companion Melanie Bush, but Davis has also provided three words to tease what to expect from the finale, right? Okay. In a letter on the showrunner OConnor on Doctor Who magazine, Rossi Davis reveals the 3 words in the script for season 14, episode 8, with the episode order now reduced to 8 episodes, not order, I guess running order, and a special, which didn't bother me. Frankly, I listen, these Netflix, I'm so glad Netflix worked out to stop doing like 15 episode seasons and go 10 episodes was really the goal. 8 episodes, just get rid of the fluff, right? Get rid of the fluff. It's 8 episodes is fine. I assume it'll be, Doctor Who and 2 other shows, so you're probably like, 8 seasons, 24. That's like half a year's worth of content. So the episode, the special, it's 8 episodes in a special. This means the 3 words Kingdom Gold and Tigella feature somewhere in Doctor Who season 14 finale. Season finale in the Rossi Davis first season were usually big spectacles in the Moffat era as well, and they tried their best in the Chibnall era. No, they didn't. The Battle of I can't even remember the name of it, right? Neither can you, because it was shit, right? We usually big spectacles, blah blah blah. Season 14, we no exception. Yeah, listen, they seem to have more money, right? The 3 word Davis chose could be red herrings or nod back to niche moments or canon, or maybe big clues to expect in what season 14, who knows? What kingdom could mean for Doctor Who season 14? You don't think it's going to be Sarah Kingdom, right? They seem to be leaning heavily into nostalgia, right? Heavily into nostalgia. Listen, if they lean into the Sarah Kingdom or the Kingdom family, can I beg you, don't do the same thing that Big Finish did, right? Which is, back before that, Big Finish current problem is their box sets are insanely bland and generic, right? The titles were like, A Thing Happened, right? Troubles in Time, or The Corridor of Reality. Like, no, that's too specific, right? Ups and Downs. That's the name of a Big Finish box set nowadays, because yeah, I don't know. I guess there's less interest and talent behind the production than there used to be. Certainly less passion. But back before then, they actually had box sets that had a theme and a meaning, right? So they had this thing called Dalek Universe, and the trailer was sumptuous. David Tennant, like in a TV21 Dalek Universe War. Oh, sounded awesome, right? Sounded absolutely awesome. Wasn't. We didn't see a Dalek till episode 7, I think, of 10, or episode 8 of 10. It was really annoying, right? It was really, really, really annoying. Episode 7 of 9, I think. That's what it was. 7 or 9. No. You see, now I got myself excited, right? I started sweating. Okay, what's the thing? Word kingdom. The word kingdom invokes the United Kingdom. It could tie into the nationalistic Gilliam stuff we saw in the what's it called? The Gilliam stuff we saw in what was it? Back when the location filming was vaguely interesting, right? Another thing that's made me less interested in the new era: Shooty changing costumes each episode. You know, more I think about this, more I think this is a dud of an idea. I don't think the Doctor has to wear exactly the same clothes like Capaldi did and Tennant did and Smack, but have a silhouette and stick with it. Shooty doesn't, right? And I think it makes it less iconic and less identifiable, less fun, less interesting. I think it's a bit of a duffer of an idea. With a kingdom, hints the involvement of United Kingdom, and perhaps hints the involvement of UNIT. What? United Nations Intelligence Task Force. Okay, whatever. In Doctor Who season 14 finale, again, that's a bit of a lazy prediction. We know she's in it. Kate Stewart, Gemma Redgrave. Sorry, I just fell asleep. I said Gemma Redgrave. Again, the lowest energy character ever seen in Doctor Who. I mean, like the most energetic thing she ever did was have her house blown up, and that was in a Jodie episode. So you know, if your best moment was in a Jodie episode, in fact, I prefer Kate Stewart when she was played by somebody else in Downtime. Go and check it out. Independent production from the 90s. Better book than production. Is already confirmed to return for at least one episode opposite Shooting Guy. Well, we've seen it with Millie Gibson, Ruby Sunday. So it wouldn't be surprising for her to be a recurring character in the new era. Again, the rumor that there'll be a UNIT show has been definitely doing around. Well, UNIT stands for United Nations Intelligence Task Force. It's now Unified Intelligence Task Force, because when they brought them back in Aliens in London and World War III, they got pissed off, so that's how they had to change that. It's more commonly involved in the defence of Britain. Well, no, we just seen UNIT UK. Really, Mark? Really? No, we just seen, UNIT UK, right? Or more specifically, English interests, making them the more of a United Kingdom intelligence task, if you want to say. Not really. No, again, it was shot in England. In the 70s, right? They wanted to make it look cool and like a secret organization. And yeah, it was shot in England because, they wanted it. It was like riffing on the James Bondian thing, which was a lot of the Pertwee era was. Fine, so you think UNIT's back. Okay, good. Another possible implication of the word kingdom is like more akin to a fairy tale. I think Sarah Kingdom's better than both of these ones. However, this has never been Rossi Davis's Doctor Who in with Doctor Who wheelhouse. From photos snapped by fans and paparazzi. There's the thing. There's not so much paparazzi. They just can't take it off the Twitter feeds from fans. Why would you waste your time, right? Back in 2005, they had helicopters flying overhead to get a glimpse of the Jinx of Mulhoon, right? Who was that? Who played that? I can't remember. Anyway, I remember that. We're all excited. On occasion, Doctor Who season 8, it looks set on contemporary Earth. This is hardly surprising. The majority of Rossi Davis Doctor Who avoids alien planets because they couldn't afford it, essentially, right? And they talk a lot. Listen to the commentaries on the 2005-2006 season. Again, that was when there was so much energy in Doctor Who, right? It was so exciting that time. Each week they will put out an MP3 that you would listen over the episode. They were huge, and then they put them on the DVDs and Blu-rays. It was huge, right? It was fantastic. It was Rossi Davis always, Phil Collison often, but they talked about, we just couldn't afford it. And look, season 1, 2005, they had no idea what to do. The first real alien planet I think they did was like this brief blink and you miss it thing in the end of Rose's last story. You saw an alien planet and they're like, that was so expensive, that's why we don't do them often, right? I mean, you had like not Bowie Base 1, the one with the Ood, with Satan at the end. What was his name? What was the name of that one? That was great. Again, do you remember Confidential then? I loved that episode of Confidential where you had the woman who was like dead and she floated off into space, right? Impossible Planet, right? And they did it all in a water tank, right? And they again, that was when Doctor Who was fun and interesting, right? Where's Jinx? Oh yeah. Well. You know, look, Russell, mate, it may be fun and interesting you to come in somebody's face, right? I get that you enjoy that, but yeah, that's not really the be-all and end-all of life, mate. Well, it seems to be for him right now. 5, so no alien planet says a thrilling contemporary Earth episode with Shooty Gatter and Bonnie Langford saving United Kingdom feels very on brand for a returning showrunner. Yeah, could be. What could gold mean for season 14? So they got the Emperor Dalek here. I think this is a reasonably good take, right? I do. I think this is a reasonably good guess. Yeah, honestly, I do. Doctor could easily be... gold could easily refer to Spandau Ballet's hit 1980s record in a nod to Bonnie Langford. What? No, I mean, I guess it could. Alternatively, it could refer to the main villain of the finale, suggesting yet another battle between UNIT and the Cybermen. I find that unlikely. Gold is lethal to Cybermen, which is why they try to destroy Volga. Good little story, that. I like that story. I'm kind of in the mood to watch it now. Again, much better with the new effects, right? Really, I am a big fan of that one. That's on the Blu-ray, right? The Volga, the Planet Gold, Revenge of the Cybermen, which is why the Fifth Doctor, Peter Davison, uses Adric badge of mathematical weapons to kill Cybermen and Earthshock. And also, what a great way to end the episode. Yeah, Peter Davison crashing it into his breathing, his chest unit, and then you end with the silent, broken badge of excellence. Oh, that was wonderful, right? Adric's best moment, that he was dead, right? Another possibility is that the Daleks have been given a shinier upgrade for the season 14 finale. I tend to think this is very likely. Right, I think this is likely. As we think Beat the Meat, the Doctor Who 6th anniversary, Rossi Davis is drawing from the history of Doctor Who comics for new threats in the second era. Is he, or is that a is that just for the 6th anniversary, or is that something that's going to carry on? I think it's something that's probably going to carry on, right? I do think that's something that's probably going to carry on. I did like the Emperor Dalek from what was it called again? Parting of the Ways. I thought that was excellent, right? I think that was one of my favorite Emperor Daleks. But I do like the gold TV21 one, right? Yeah, I do think that. I think that would be really cool, right? I think that will that happen? I don't know. So history of the comics. One of the most iconic Daleks of all time was the gold Emperor Dalek from TV21 in the 60s and 70s. The rumours of the Daleks return in Shooting Up was first season, so it'd be weird if they don't. So the iconic Emperor Dalek could make their big screen debut alongside the returning villains. Yeah, I said that coming in. I think that's probably the most likely thing. What is Tigella, and what does it mean for Doctor Who season 14? Tigella is the planet from Doctor Who serial Mangloss. Are they hinting the return of Barbara again? Oh, so sad. They brought back what's the name? What's the name of the actress? Ian and Barbara, played by. I gotta look it up. I'm sorry, I can't move. This will happen when you get old. I'm in my 50s, right? Doctor Who Barbara. Okay, so that should come up. What's that bloody name? Jacqueline Hill, isn't it? No. Jacqueline Hill, I was right! Maybe she's coming back. Mangloss, in which the titular villain, the shape-shifting cactus, attempted to steal the Tigellan power source. Mangloss took the form of the Fourth Doctor to carry out his size. If it's a shape-shifting alien, do you think we're going to be dealing with gender fluidity? Probably. Can they help themselves? No. they really genuinely can't help themselves. Mangloss took the form of the Fourth Doctor to carry out his heist, but eventually was defeated. The reference to Tigella is a curious one. It suggests a return of the Tom Baker's villain, or maybe the return of the planet itself. Alternatively, it could refer to the planet's core conflict, which was detailed in Mangloss, or it could just be he mentions it in part, like, you know, Metabilis 3, or as Matt Smith said, what do they call it? Metibilis. How did he say that? Metabolis? Metibilis? I can't remember how he said it, but it was totally weird. So the Targaryens were split between two factions, the Dions and the Savants, with each being with very different belief systems. Oh, man, I haven't seen this for years. I've got to give this a rewatch. The Dions were a staunchly religious group. Yes, they were led by Jacqueline Hill, right? The dodecahedron. I just remember saying that over and over again. Who believed the god T and the power source of the dodecahedron was a spiritual object. The Savants, meanwhile, were logical scientists who opposed the Dion's religious belief and wanted to study the dodecahedron's scientific applications. If there's a way to diss religion, Russell will find it. He'll certainly bring it in. The conflict between science and religion is still an incredibly relevant topic for Doctor Who to tackle 40 years later. Well, the difference is this now, right? I think the religious world is more scientifically aware than the anti-religious world, right? The anti-religious world is like, oh no, vaccine, they absolutely, booster, vaccine, booster, oh, mask, booster, vaccine, booster. It's the science, men can come on women and women come on men. It's science, right? They keep screaming, it's science. I mean, like, really? You think it is this? Do you think, somebody should be able to not do what the government tells them in terms of science? No! Science! Science! Women have penises, men have babies. Science! Okay, so, and they still believe they are the scientific people. Whereas the religious world is like, you know that normally girls just have babies. Quiet! Backward bigot! Okay. So that'll be an interesting Russell's tackle, right? Again, if he can get Jinx Monsoon's wedding tackle out of his bloody face for a minute, especially in the wake of the global pandemic. Oh yes. Again, follow the science. Lab leak, you racist. You're just saying that because they're Asians. No, because it's a lab that says the Wuhan coronavirus lab. The racist. Oh, how do people who hate science argue they are pro-science, which is what they're saying this could be? I don't know. Tagella is mentioned in passing by the 15th Doctor as he's thrown into another conflict between science and religious factions. Alternatively, it could just be another Doctor Who planet mentioned in passing, like when the 10th Doctor David Tennant mentioned the sense sphere with William Hart. Well, no, that wasn't mentioned in passing. The Ood and the what they were called again, the Sensorites. They were like genetically from the same template, sort of, right? Well, a great. I mean, okay, a much more gratuitous mention was it the Matt Smith Christmas one with Madge Aldwell? What's that one? Where they end up in Androzani Major or Minor? Like they just name check Androzani really weirdly, as it turns out to be a Christmas planet. Like it was just bizarre. Whatever the reason for the references to Tagella, it's clear that Rossi Davis is delighting in teasing fans. Not really. Mate, again, fans have really turned off. Why? How do we know turned off? The lack of interest, right? There's no excitement in the air, right? The lack of buzz. That I think is palpable, right? I really think the lack of buzz going on around Doctor Who, I think that's the story, right? I think that's the real story. And that buzz killed by what's her name? Suze Kempner, Jinx Monsoon, and a very randy Russell T Davis, right? Lots of a very, very randy Russell T Davis. It's clear that Rossi Davis is delighted with tiny details to obsess over until Doctor Who returns. Look, mate, Russell, Russell, you haven't had a good few months. Bonnie Langford was the best thing that happened to Doctor Who in your new run, right? In this year. Literally this year. It was the first thing that happened where I'm going, oh, thank God, that he sounds kind of interesting. I've got another couple of articles. I can't be bothered, right? I'm bored. I got an episode of Star Trek I've got to try and force myself to watch. I think I'm going to rather watch paint dry. Oh, you see, again, it's the lack of buzz. It's the lack of buzz. I hope they get the buzz back, right? I hope I'm wrong about everything. Don't think I am. Don't think I am. I'm sorry. I do not think I am. I'll be happy for things to turn around, but I am just not overly optimistic at this point. What do you think? Are you overly optimistic? Who knows or dares to dream? I will be back maybe tomorrow. I don't know if there's anything going on. I mean, it really feels like there's nothing at all going on and no interest. If anything's going on and there's any interest whatsoever, I'll be back tomorrow. If not, I will see you Sunday, I guess. Whatever happens, keep watching the stars, ladies and gentlemen. Keep watching the skies. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.